If you're familiar with Areej Doré, you may already know this is a house that does not necessarily make fragrances for everyone. There is a very particular aesthetic to the brand. Dense, natural, textured, sometimes challenging fragrances, and unapologetically rooted in traditional perfumery materials. You really have to appreciate Areej Doré's style to understand what Russian Adam is trying to accomplish. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Coloniano D. I hope everyone's doing well, and welcome back to my Generation X olfactory experience. I own several fragrances from the house of Areej Doré. I wouldn't say that every single one from the house fits the particular style of fragrance I personally prefer. Some are fascinating exercises in natural perfumery that I admire more than I would actually reach for. But Nepalese Patchouli is different for me. This one hits all the boxes. And as someone like myself who is a big fan of patchouli, that is saying something. Let me show you the presentation. As you can see, the color purple. Nepalese Patchouli is the color purple. Russian Adam really nailed it creating this fragrance because you have the blue lotus, the hyacinth, the lilac, and the color purple just sticks out. The color blue, bluish purple. When I smell Nepalese Patchouli, I smell purple. It's colorful. As you can see, the presentation, that box is just incredible, the design. And let me show you the presentation. This is, as you can see, a little glare there, Nepalese Patchouli along the top. And there's the crest along the top there on the sprayer. Very nice. As always, one of the best presentations in the fragrance biz, that's for sure. Areej Doré. Now, I sprayed some of this earlier. The opening, Nepalese Patchouli opens with an unusual and beautiful floral impression built around lilac, hyacinth, and blue lotus. These aren't simply there to make the fragrance smell floral. They establish an atmosphere. Let me read to you a little snippet from the house with the note breakdown. Top notes: a bouquet of rare and natural purple florals, which he nailed it. Lilac, hyacinth, and blue lotus. The heart notes, we have Nepalese Patchouli, orris butter, touch of Egyptian violet leaf, and Russian oak moss. The base, this is technical, way above my league, that's for sure. Ultrasound and vacuum infused multi-layered co-tincture of black truffles, orris root, wild Siberian deer musk, and Ethiopian civet, made by Russian Adam and used as the complete fragrance carrier. Incredible. Now at that opening, there is a cool, slightly green, almost shadowy about the opening. The lilac gives it that recognizable powdery floral character, while the hyacinth contributes a green, slightly indolic sharpness. The blue lotus adds another dimension. It's soft, exotic, almost watery in its impression. What I really appreciate about the florals is they don't overwhelm the patchouli concept. They create a frame around it. And that becomes increasingly apparent as the fragrance develops. The heart is where the patchouli shines. To me, it's the best part of this fragrance towards the base. It's just fantastic. This is where Nepalese Patchouli really starts speaking my language as a fan of patchouli. The heart brings together Nepalese Patchouli, orris butter, violet leaf, oak moss, and this combination is absolutely gorgeous. I'm a huge patchouli fan, but I don't necessarily want patchouli presented as a blunt instrument. This is not, you know, a head shop patchouli or a hippie patchouli. I want to smell its complexity, the earthiness, the woodiness, the slight sweetness, green facets, an almost mysterious quality that makes great patchouli so compelling. Now, I'll be wearing a lot of patchouli in the coming months, and it almost seems patchouli is making some sort of comeback as a focused note. I'm going to keep an eye on that. You know, I did my previous review of Patchouli Gourmand by Fragrance Du Bois, and I just picked up from Andy Tower Patch Absolute, and that's also a patchouli, of course. And as you can see, look at that, the color purple. Isn't that something? Wow. So yeah, so it almost seems like the theme these days is purple patchouli. Incredible. The patchouli is well integrated with the florals in the orris. Rather than feeling like you're wearing a patchouli fragrance with some flowers thrown in, the materials interlock. The floral opening gradually gives way to the deeper, earthier personality of the patchouli, while the orris brings a beautiful powdery and buttery quality to the composition. So you have those green, the lotus, the blue, the purple florals at the top and the patchouli, and then you have that orris. The orris plays a real big part in this fragrance. And this is where I think the fragrance starts establishing itself in chypre territory. There is that classic tension between floral brightness, green elements, earthiness, moss, woods, and a darker sensual base. I don't think this is an attempt to recreate an old school chypre formula. It feels more like an interpretation of what a chypre can be when you have access to extraordinary natural materials and modern extraction techniques. Russian Adam is a genius. The oak moss is particularly important to that effect. It adds a damp green, slightly bitter and forest-like quality that gives the patchouli somewhere to sit. So you have the top with the florals, the patchouli, and you need somewhere for that patchouli to sit, and that's where that oak moss comes in. And somewhere around the mid-development, the patchouli really begins to stand out. This is my favorite part of this fragrance. That's actually when I received a compliment while wearing it. Not at the top, not at the base, right in the mids, where it was booming. It wasn't immediately after spraying. It was once the fragrance had settled into that stage where the patchouli becomes more apparent and floral elements have integrated into the composition. That is one of my favorite things about fragrances like this. The moment when the perfume stops being about individual notes and starts becoming a living, cohesive scent. And that's Nepalese patchouli. And now you get to the base. And this is where Areej Le Doré really becomes unmistakably Areej Le Doré. It's not your conventional perfume construction. The base gives Nepalese patchouli an incredible depth. There is earthiness from the truffle, powder and rootiness from the orris, animalic warmth from the musk and civet. It's very wearable. So if you're not into animalics and you love patchouli, I would somehow, some way try to get my hands on this or get my nose on this fragrance. The musk and the civet, it creates a foundation underneath the patchouli and the florals and the mosses. You get the impression that everything is connected. Once this fragrance fully develops, everything is connected. This is where Areej Doré excels in his creations. One of the things I admire about Areej Doré is the attention given to the extraction and distillation of natural materials. This is what the house is all about. He's pretty much the best in the business at this point. And that is part of the Areej Doré experience. It's just incredible. Nepalese patchouli is different. This one hits all the boxes for me. First, there's the patchouli, but what makes this special is how beautifully the patchouli has been blended with the florals. The lilac, the hyacinth, the blue lotus, with the floral character. That orris adds that creamy, powdery sophistication. The violet leaf brings a green facet, while the oak moss introduces that unmistakable chypre darkness. I get a chypre out of this. I really do. Then the truffle, the musk, the civet, the orris take everything into much deeper territory. It's earthy without being dirty, floral without becoming overly sweet, animalic without becoming too overwhelming, and mossy without aggressive bitterness. And most important for me, patchouli without becoming one-dimensional. Nepalese patchouli is one of those fragrances where I think the individual notes are interesting, but the real achievement is the way they have been brought together. It's the blending that makes this work. Now, as far as versatility, it's a very versatile fragrance. You can wear this casual. You can wear this dressed in a three-piece suit. You can wear this out to dinner. You can even wear this on a date night. As long as someone is not totally turned off by patchouli, this is a very, very well blended fragrance. Now, as for accessibility, this is where I somewhat have a problem with some of these releases, these limited releases, and that's anywhere really. Any fragrance house or perfumer that releases limited fragrances, you're really making a blind buy. And with the Areej Doré fragrances, they're very limited. They're an acquired taste, and it's a cult. And they go fast. There is no sample offering unless you're actually offered a sample by the house. So you have to make an impulse buy. And what happens is, and here's what I would like to see, this way more of us can get their nose on these fragrances. I would like to see them limit one purchase per transaction. This way, somebody comes in, because I see these on eBay, they're about, one I saw for $800, the other from the same seller, $1,400, still wrapped. One he probably tested, the other he's gonna sell it off and make his money. And by someone buying multiple bottles of these fragrances, it takes away from others having that experience and then having to go out and buy the same fragrance for double the price. So if one purchase per transaction was the limit, more of you would experience this. That's my take on it. So with these limited purchases, you have to go on Instagram, follow Areej Doré on YouTube, and wait until there's a new release announcement. And get on that website, sign up for that website, and get on there and wait about 2 minutes before the sale starts, which is usually, Pacific time. And get on there and make that purchase and hit that send button, because they go fast. That's the only way I see you're going to get an opportunity, unless you buy small decants, you get your nose on it. But at this point, if you don't buy the fragrance at the regular price on the website, you're going to pay double or triple. More power to anyone who's going to spend $1,400. So that's just my little, take on these limited releases. It's really not fair to everybody. It's not. Especially without samples being offered. Now, if you appreciate patchouli, I think Nepalese patchouli is a fragrance worth experiencing, if you can get your hands on it. For me, it isn't simply just another patchouli fragrance. It's patchouli interpreted through the Areej Doré lens. That's my review. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I will absolutely see you next time. Thanks.